This might literally be one of the most popular hikes in Switzerland, and today we're going to show you why. The Stoos Ridge Hike is a great day trip from Lucerne or Zurich. The 4.4 kilometer, 2-hour trail follows a stunning ridge with endless views of the Swiss Alps, the deep blue Lake Lucerne, plus 9 other sparkly lakes and lush green valleys below. And if you're not up for the full hike, don't worry. We have a miniature 30-minute alternative just for you that offers amazing views too. And we'll end today by showing you a list of activities to pair with your visit to Stoos. But before you lace up your hiking boots and join us on this trail, let's chat about how to get up here.
First, travel to the town of Schwyz, which is a 45-minute train from Lucerne or a 1-hour train from Zurich. Once you're in Schwyz, a 15-minute ride on bus 501 delivers you to the really cool-looking Stoßbahn. And if you're coming by car, you'll also need to park near the Stoßbahn in either the outdoor spaces or parking garage, since Stoos is a car-free village. The Stoßbahn is the steepest funicular in the world with a 110% gradient. But thanks to the self-leveling cabins, you'll hardly even notice. It climbs 2,440 feet in just 7 minutes.
Once you get here in Stoos, there are a handful of things to do, but we're going to wait and show you those later because right now we want to get up to the top while the weather is clear and before the crowds get too busy on the trail. It's important to note that the funicular to Stoos actually runs earlier in the day than the chairlift to Klingenstock. So for example, we're here in July and the chairlift only runs from 9 to 4. Follow the signs to walk 15 minutes uphill to the Klingenstock chairlift. Then ride another 15 minutes up to Klingenstock.
Thankfully, it's pretty simple to buy tickets for this ridge hike. The best option is for sure the Peak Experience day ticket, which gives you unlimited rides up and down on each of the chairlifts, the funicular, and the cable car that goes between Stoos and Moorschach. And you even get a discount if you have a half fare card or a Swiss travel pass. It's best to buy your tickets in advance on the Stoos website, which gives you a little bit of a discount and helps you snag the prices that we're showing here on the screen. But if you have the Telpass, which we highly recommend for trips to Lucerne or central Switzerland, then you get your rides for absolutely free.
Welcome to Klingenstock, the start of the Stoos Ridge Hike. Now obviously you could start at the other end in Frontalpstock, but starting from here just makes for better views along the way. There's nothing really here except for the stations and bathrooms and some picnic tables, and we also prefer to end our hikes at places that have a little more to offer. By the way, there are no bathrooms along the trail, but there are bathrooms at the station on either end, so it's probably a good idea to take a potty break before we get started. Okay, like we mentioned, this trail is 4.4 kilometers long and takes about 2 hours, but you get amazing views literally from step number 1. Right away, you'll see Lake Lucerne on your left and the Mota Valley on your right.
As you can tell, there are a lot of steps, so we definitely recommend sturdy shoes and even hiking poles if you find them helpful. You might also be wondering how safe this trail is because, after all, it is a ridge hike. This is a really well-groomed, well-maintained, and well-traveled trail, and the path is wider than you think. Thankfully, there are handrails at various places around the path, which you can use for balance, and they make you feel more secure. Unless you're really afraid of heights, we think active adults and even active kids or teens will have no problem with this hike. But while Stoos itself is open throughout the year, except for a few closures for maintenance in the spring and the fall, the ridge hike is only open and secured with chains from approximately the beginning of June until the beginning of November, depending on the weather.
We have reached the first peak and picnic spot called Rotturm, and so far it has been gradually downhill. In fact, here's the elevation profile of this hike, which is gently downhill for pretty much the first 2/3 of the trail. There are 3 picnic spots along the trail, but there's only a restaurant at the very end. So pack your bag with any of the snacks and water that you'll need for the 2 hours along the way, or if you're like us, it takes longer because we keep stopping to admire these views.
It's helpful to know that there are no trees along this trail, so be prepared to be in the sun the entire time. And for me, that looks like reapplying sunscreen constantly. Once you're about halfway, you can take a quick detour up to the second main peak, the Stock, if you'd like, but you can honestly see those same views along this entire trail, so in our opinion, there's no reason to do extra work that's not necessary, but we don't really want this hike to end. It's actually a bit challenging to watch all of the stairs and take in the landscapes at the same time. And Jana read online that you can supposedly see 10 different lakes from here, so she's tried to play I Spy and spot them all.
And I've only counted 6 so far, but I'm gonna keep looking. The end is in sight. We've actually been able to see the end for quite a bit of the trail, but we are almost there now. Like we mentioned, the last bit of the Stoos Ridge hike is definitely uphill. It was more difficult than I expected, but still super reasonable, and the trail is in great condition. We definitely recommend hiking in the direction that we came, not only because most of the hike is downhill, but because you just get stunning views the entire time.
We've arrived in Front Alpstock, the end of the Stoos Ridge hike. Those 2 hours honestly flew by, although my legs are a bit shaky from all those stairs. As you can tell, there are still 360-degree views here, which you can take in from this viewing platform here. Next door to the chairlift is the Front Alpstock Hotel and Restaurant, which happens to be the highest restaurant in the canton of Schwyz. And during the summer months, they even offer special evening rides up to Front Alpstock, so you can dine here with the sunset view, which does sound pretty magical.
And you cannot miss the goat petting zoo. These little friendly dwarf goats are up here from mid-June to mid-September, and they really like to be pet. It's free to come in here, and of course they love hanging out with you. Normally they are actually here in this grassy area and you can literally pet them, but they just feel like laying over there in the sun right now. If you've seen our video in Kornegrat, or if you have our 3-day guide to Zermatt, then you'll know that we hiked to see the special black-nosed sheep. And that was honestly a highlight of my trip. And I have a feeling that these friendly little guys are gonna be a highlight of our time here too. And next door is the goat playground, which kids are also sure to love. Not sure why it's called a goat playground. Maybe they're just trying to continue the theme, but it does look super fun. And just like most of the other peaks in the Swiss Alps, you can also go paragliding from here too.
From here, you have a few different hiking options. If you're not up for the entire Stoos Ridge hike, consider riding directly from Stoos up to here to enjoy the 30-minute Front Alpstock Panorama Trail. It's a stroller-friendly, easily walkable trail that leaves directly from the chairlift station. You can also follow the 2-hour Front Alp Trail for a taste of traditional Swiss farm life with fun wooden ball games along the way. Or take the 1.6-kilometer Moor Trail to explore, well, the moors. And if you're like me and don't know what a moor is, here's how Merriam-Webster describes it. An expanse of open, rolling, infertile land, often dominated by grasses. Still don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's a nice trail. Last is the Alp Cheese Trail, which is exactly what it sounds like. For 16 francs, you can taste authentic Alpine cheese from 3 of the 6 different farm stations along the way. We've already finished the Stoos Ridge hike and explored Front Alpstock, but there are more adventures awaiting us further down the mountain. So from here, we're going to enjoy a 10-minute chairlift ride back down to Stoos.
Most people just pass through Stoos to start and end their hike, but we actually think it's worth hanging around for a bit, and here are 8 reasons why.
Little Stoos Lake is exactly what it sounds like. A little man-made lake in Stoos. But besides just being beautiful, it has a few unique features. One being this footbridge to the middle of the lake where you can dip your feet in the refreshing water. And I imagine that after climbing all those steps on the Stoos Ridge hike, it feels really nice. But I don't know, because I left my towel at home. It's also used as a water reservoir to make snow in the winter and as flood protection for the village. And in addition to that, there are bathrooms, picnic tables, and a really cool grill spot.
Next up is the Stoos Chapel, officially known as the Maria Hilf Chapel. It was built here in 1932 and has been used ever since. And apparently a lot of people like to get married here, and I can see why. This would make a beautiful backdrop for a wedding and wedding pictures.
And if you've seen our other videos, then it's no surprise to you that there are multiple playgrounds here in Stoos, since Switzerland is so kid-friendly.
The 2.8 kilometer Stoßhorn round walk is perfect for families because it's all-terrain, stroller accessible, and there are even games along the way. This is actually a perfect option if part of your group wants to do the ridge hike and the other part of your group is looking for just a little bit easier of a walk. Next is a free mini museum about the construction of the steepest funicular in the world. We kind of had a hard time finding this, but if you follow signs for the ski depot, that's where this mini museum is. And I am a huge nerd for fun facts, so this was so fascinating to me. And pro tip, all the signs are in German, but you can use the Google Translate app. It has this cool camera feature that will translate all of it to English for you.
Facts aren't quite as fun to me as they are to Jana, but if you got 5 minutes and you gotta wait on the funicular, you might as well take a peek.
At this point in the day, you're probably getting a little bit hungry, and good thing there are a handful of great restaurants in Stoos. Restaurant Baumberg Mosey Bar has good prices for basic hearty food. Ski House Ebach is just outside of town and serves up incredible Italian food with great views. And Stoos Hütte has some really great classic Swiss dishes with amazing views as well. It happens to be here behind me where we ate lunch today. There's also a great selection of local products in the Stoßbahn station as well.
You can also enjoy a different route down the mountain by taking a 17-minute cable car ride from Stoos down to Morschach. It's a bit longer than descending on the steepest funicular in the world down to Schwyz, but it's always fun to explore new places.
You might be wondering how to fit the Stoos Ridge Hike into your Swiss itinerary, and we have you covered. Check out our Swiss travel guides for done-for-you itineraries, or watch this video next to learn more, and we'll see you in Switzerland.